Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay cast. Today it is a 2 versus 2 on Plunging Valley between our red team that consists of Demo, the Torturer, and Prince Eugen 2.0, and over on the other side, our blue team consists of Kasakuchin. I'm pretty sure I said that right, but either way, and Alp, which I actually really like that name, Alp, just Alp. Good stuff. And we're going to speed this up to the 10x mark. So all the units come out, all the good stuff starts to happen. So it's basically a first lieutenant and an Oberleutnant, sergeant major, a brigadier general, and an unranked player as well. Which doesn't necessarily mean anything. And we'll see what these players are going to get. I think I see multiple CVs here, so definitely going to cap some extra things right off the bat for the red team. And away we go. And for the most part, more red going Bravo. It doesn't look like any blue is going Bravo. They're just going to sort of abandon that. Which I'm not just so sure if that's a great idea. Bravo is very easy to capture, particularly for this side. Just slapping something there, some defense along there, maybe even a tank or two. Pretty much stops anything that can get into Bravo fairly easily. But going to be going over to the left here with some chaparrals, K1, and some infantry. Infantry look like they may be going into the wood line there. And some infantry going to be going down this way here. And a big push into the center as well. And for our red team, mostly going to Bravo there. Or at least putting a little bit of forces in Bravo. Unlike their opponents. And in the center here, some Spetsnaz, Su-122, and Tunguska way in the back there. Some VDV, but not quite up far enough. Should be in the edge of the line there to stop anything from coming in. And red team has secured the backside of Foxtrot. Very easy to do. And T-55s are moving on up. And also bringing over a few APCs there and some ASU-85s to defend that flank side. You know, lots of troops coming in the woods here. May take them all the way around. Either that or just send them straight forward. I usually like the all the way around route and some through there as well. Nobody ever really suspects it going all the way around. And now really trying to push into the middle. And there isn't all that much defending here. These Su-122s, not that much of a threat. And an attack marker there by Prince Eugen, as he sees all of this stuff moving in on him. Jaegers and K1 there, slapping any tanks that come up to the line to stop these Jaegers. T-55 looks like it is next, and the K1 eager for more. And the right side totally capped by our red team, or at least totally overrun, just about to be capped now. And Bradley on this side to capture anything that dares come through there. ATGMs. And two K1s in the wood line, just pushing them forward. And bold move going after VDV with the K1s with that RPG-29. But it looks like they survive and overwhelm them. Assault Pioneers now out on the field. And that 3A1 minigun tearing stuff up pretty well. MiG-29 dropping some bombs here. May take out the minigun. May take out a K1. Nope. Not going to take out that K1. It was a little bit outside there. And now our blue side has made it into the wood line here. And a pretty critical spot of this map is just right here. If you can get to the edge here with tanks or anything really, ATGMs, pretty much impossible to get any units there. Have to go through the long way around the woods, and that slows you down quite a bit. A1Gs over here going to deal with the troops trying to come in the wood line. And they'll kill a few here. Not going to last too long. We'll have to deal with that flank in a moment. Meanwhile, there is a recon helicopter coming around the back side. And this Gazelle should be spotting that. It is a little bit low. And Bravo totally infested now with red. And the CV has been brought all the way to the blue side. And not just placed all the way back there. Which is maybe a clever move. Might actually get bombed there in an attempt to clear that out, but very interesting tactic there. And Jaegers and Riflemen moving forward here. Just non-90 Riflemen, which I find to be absolutely terrible. They do only cost 10, but Riflemen 90 have the AT4, which is a very reasonable weapon. The Law, however, I detest. I find it absolutely terrible. 13 AP power is barely enough to kill any respectable tank, and usually ends up only doing 1 damage on tanks. It only has an accuracy of 30%, so it misses the majority of the time. And on top of that, you only get, I think, 6 per squad, so you end up missing the majority of the time. And even if you hit all 6 times on a heavy tank, it still would not kill it. The Law is an outright complete shit of a weapon, which I'm sorry to have to say. So I pretty much always have infantry in my decks that do not have Laws. I think I'm actually sporting Gewehrman in one of my deck, but I do that because of the NM, what is it, NM 135s with the 20 mil on the front and the 50 cal. That's pretty good. I think that makes up for it. Those really come in handy. But the Law is just god-awful. And now the blue team has really pushed their way into Delta. CS moving up, and the K1 as well. And that Recon now moving its way to the start of the blue territory. If you can get Recon or infantry in general in these buildings back here, anything that actually spawns in there pretty much gets automatically rocketed and destroyed. LRM here firing on the town, not getting too much here, not even really panicking any troops. One got panicked. And now 2, but not doing too much overall. And Alp really making his way here into the line. Some VDV there on the edge. Pretty much the only thing defending this right now. Some VDV going to make their way up to the edge of the line, but the Aslav and the AMX-10 will do some damage to him. But the T-64 takes out that Aslav there. And now a MiG-29 dropping. And slams on the ground there with some AP. And takes out that AMX as well, but leaves behind the Assault Pioneers and the Legion. And CS and a K1 still in the area there. And now trying to push in on the town. But there's a lot of distance to cover trying to get into this town, so you really need to use a little bit more varied tactics to get in there. Either that or just a lot of infantry, plain and simple, to push forward and get in that town. But you end up sacrificing a lot. So it's usually best just to take this first, stop all the reinforcements, then slowly chip away at the town. And now Jaegers going out of here. And MiG-27 looking for a target. Used up one of its missiles. Didn't see what it had hit, if anything. Might have been going for that K1 there. And now the Recon is nearly in the town. Some units are lucky and get out of there before they take any damage. Now the blue team, Alp, going over, trying to push his opponent out of Bravo now. And a CV being brought in here, going to get RPG'd, most likely, and does. So that's sort of a big loss there. Loss of, what, 100 or 110 for that CV there. And so a very excellent spot for a Recon. Even if you don't get something with it, you'll see what goes past it. Might even be sometimes in your best interest to turn off all of your weapons so you actually don't kill anything, so you see everything that's coming out. But of course, if there's a CV, you couldn't resist killing that. Now the MiG-29 dropping here. And where is it gonna land? And AP lands all over the Jaegers, but just panics them, doesn't really do any damage. And additional units now coming in the back here. A1Gs with units with Jaegers. One insta-destroyed there by the RPG. And now the miniguns here firing back. And Assault Pioneers being released. And the track destroyed on that one. Now 2 Assault Pioneers should be able to scorch up these units here. And now they're starting to burn them out. And that will be the last of those. Now, Jaegers have made their way into the line here. Going to try and push out that CV. Eventually, Legions have made their way up to the edge. And anything coming through there is going to get all peppered up with Eric's. And that CV won't last much longer here. We have quite a bit of support vehicles pushing on in, the DK-1s and the CS. And also Falscom Jaegers in there as well. Still unable to really push into this town. Neutralized it the entire time. But just now going to be bringing in... actually, no, has had this CV in for a while here. MiG-27 flying around, looking for a target. Everything hidden, though, so not really going to see too much. So neutralizing this gives them... takes away that +2. And the CV has been bombed out in the back. And now gives another +1 to our blue team, so a +2 advantage. And so far, pretty well played on the part of our blue team. Our red team has a big advantage over the blue team just yet. However, right now, it's not looking too good, as this whole line here is just completely peppered up with troops. Taking that back is going to be very, very hard with all of this here. There isn't actually a lot of armor, though. I think that's the one thing that's really missing from this. But there are plenty of Erics to deal with any kind of armor. Eric's only in 1,000-meter range, though. And Demo, the Brigadier General, bails from the game. And as they are losing Bravo, they had totally lost Bravo for the most part. Some Spetsnaz there now, but some additional Legion are going to be coming here and going to try and deal with those. And without Delta, that's just going to be GG for our red team. So very interesting. I like the tactic of bringing the recon all the way to the back of Blue's base there and doing some damage. It just didn't really do enough. I think if you're going to do that, I think you should just bring a little bit more than just one recon. I think a couple extra troops would be pretty nice just for additional firepower to defend and additional rockets as well. But definitely a good push, particularly in the center there. And taking that center away from your opponent is actually key in Plunging Valley. Not necessarily necessary, but if you can neutralize your opponent's +2 in the middle of the map on either side, it just absolutely devastates your opponent. Your opponent would basically have to have both of the other sides to make up for that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I'll see you guys next time.